What's up, gamers? Gamers unite. How we doing, guys? How are we doing? Sunday Page, King Fissile, Kicker, Carrot, D-Top, General Shepherd, James Clark. 6? I don't know if you can have your cash up on the screen. I think you can get in trouble for that. What if I pin it as the chat? What if I just have it pinned in chat? What do you think? I had my Patreon on stream for like years. What's up, everybody? What's up, guys? I'll remove that. I'll let y'all see the beautiful art. The beautiful human-made art. There we go, that's chill. Bored. I don't remember you, no. But I love all my fans. What's up, everybody? Do you know anything about D&D character alignments? Very little. Very little. Was good. I'm gonna be here for a couple hours. Is it true Dream of the Endless protects Superman? I have no idea. I have no idea if that's true. I know they interacted very briefly. Sandman was in one of the Morrison JLA arcs. Neutral good. It's pretty good. It's not bad. I would trust a neutrally good person, I think. Yeah, I like Skyrim. Do you think Red Hood was a better character in Post-Crisis than New 52 and Beyond? Yes. I'm drinking a Dr. Pepper right now. If that answers your question. I'm also nursing the back of my the right side of my jaw. I think I bit down really hard in my sleep, and so it's kind of hurting. So I need a bit of a sippy sip every now and again. What's up, Turner? Goat. The Bat Family versus his villains is kind of, I mean, if Batman can do it by himself, then obviously the Bat Family could do it. Character alignment, would you say Daniel Turner? Let's look at all the alignments that are possible. Obviously evil. I don't know if I'd go as far to say chaotic. I don't know what that means. Like, I think he's sort of just a lazy bastard. So, I figure you kind of need you need a lot to cause chaos. You need to probably get off your fucking chair, you know. $1. Fabrimathy, thank you. I'll put you on the screen. Appreciate you. I'll put that right there. Yeah. If Jason can hold off Tim Drake, Cass, and Nightwing at the same time, then he'd beat up Spider-Man's villains for sure. Like 1v1 for sure. No problem. Batman also considers him and Nightwing the best fighters on the planet. Which is very high praise. Another $5 from Fabrimathy. My bad blood hears more. Would the Empire from Star Wars be a Justice League level threat? Let me put you on the screen. Thank you so much. I wasn't trying to like pressure you into spending more, but I appreciate you. Let me add you here. A Justice League level threat? No, I don't think so. I mean, it would be cool to see like, it would be cool to see like Green Lantern and Superman and Martian Manhunter like flying through a bunch of TIE fighters and shit. That would be cool. But as far as like power levels, like, I think Green Lantern would shit on Sidious. Aquaman might honestly shit on Sidious. Aquaman has like pretty high level telepathy, all things considered. So yeah, I don't think power level wise it would be very close. You could say maybe in like a generic sense, like Dark Empire Sidious is technically a threat to the universe, because you could consume it over time with a Force Storm. And even though the League are, you know, far beyond the power of just one universe, if the universe is being, you know, threatened to be destroyed, then obviously they would get involved. But as far as like Darth Vader and Sidious, if they get run up from the Justice League, then they're gonna get cooked. Good morning, Pamajam. It's more like afternoon for me, but I appreciate you. Nightwing's batons have been described as unbreakable before. Or like nigh unbreakable. Obviously they've been broken. But, you know, prior to that, I think they've also been amplified by, like, Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific developed, like, his latest Eskrima. Mr. Terrific is, like, at least the third smartest person in the DC universe. I think, does Batman not snap the Eskrima with his robot hand? Batman robot hand. Yeah, he does. It's his right hand. 2 pounds from Board. Thank you. Let me put you on the screen, Board. Arkansas versus Nepal. How many gun owners? How many gun owners in Arkansas? 58% of Arkansas owns a gun. Second highest state for gun ownership in the United States. I think they run through Nepal, honestly. What's the population of Nepal? Let's see. So there's 123,000 registered firearms in Arkansas. I think, if I'm reading this correctly. So population of Nepal. Okay. 30 million people in Nepal. I don't think they're allowed to have guns, though. Is it like, are there any military bases in Arkansas? And does that go for, like, does that count in the question? Like, are the soldiers on Arkansas bases? There are 5 bases. There's an Air Force base, an arsenal, camp, National Guard base, and a military fort, like an army fort, I guess. Do they also count? Okay, it counts. Okay. So we have like a lot more gun owners. I don't think you're allowed to own a gun in Nepal, but how big? I feel like, does Nepal have an army? Surely there are like... Surely there are soldiers stationed in Nepal. I want to honestly say Arkansas, but it might just be like raw numbers. Like, I don't think there's just way more people in Nepal. I think like if a gunman was fighting like 5 people in close proximity, those 5 people could probably beat the fuck out of him and like just take the gun away. So it's like 30 million people versus... Yeah, 3 million. So it's 10 times the amount of people. And not even all of those like 3 million people have a gun. So yeah, no, I think I'd give it to Nepal. Personally. I think I'd give it to Nepal. I would imagine Texas is the highest. What state has the most guns? Wyoming. According to this list from 2013, Wyoming was #1 by a long shot. Then District of Columbia, then Arkansas. But I guess Arkansas surpassed the District of Columbia since 2013. $5, Kimimaru Heroes and Stand. Thank you. Thank you, Go. So far, Fabry Mathy has the most donos. Man, I love being right. I love being right. People downplay the Titans, man. And in this latest issue, Raven just zero-diffed the Spectre. And people were like, oh, well, in Dark Crisis, Raven fought Spectre, and he was beating the fuck out of her. And it was like Spectre without a host, so like weakened Spectre. What people don't realize about Raven is she has like fucking 5 different layers of like holding back, right? Or like not being at her peak power. She's constantly suppressing herself because if she gives into her rage or her power, it'll make her like an Avatar of Trigon, essentially. She'll give into that side. And you know, become a threat to the planet. And then also, her full power is her soul self. So, like, whenever she sends an attack out into that big form of, like, a Raven silhouette, that's her full power. So, any of her magic, all that, it's not equal to her soul self. And now, currently, she's just at her crazy. She's at her full power. She's not holding back. It's her demonic side taking over her good side. And she's absorbing the power of her brothers. And yeah. She's stronger than Spectre. Spectre's really powerful. Spectre's strong. There's a statement that Superman can't even comprehend Spectre's power. Spectre is definitely built different. And yeah, Absolute Power. Absolute Power is going pretty well. I definitely like that Nightwing moment. He is the best leader. It's been stated objectively, like, you know, 20 fucking years ago they made the point. Is Raven at unkindness level? The problem with being like specifically, so unkindness absorbed definitely the powers of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And I believe she also absorbed Shazam's power. And so that's kind of what got her to her place at that crazy super power level. But right now, it's really just like I said, it's her darkest half, dark side, and not like the new god, literal dark side, but it's her dark side, and then she's absorbed some of her brothers, and Trigon gave her a fucking axe. So, oh, I added this twice. Oopsie daisy. Mjolnir versus Aquaman's most powerful trident. Aquaman's latest trident, I don't know about his most powerful one, but his latest one like broke off of this like chest of a weakened version of Doomsday. In like I think it was Justice League 75, the right before Dark Crisis. So, I'd probably give it to Mjolnir. I don't think if Thor went to fight Doomsday, his hammer would just shatter off of Doomsday's chest. I don't think that would happen. Big Barda would be chaotic good. Probably. That makes sense to me. Yeah, I just double checked. Aquaman's trident shattered. Maybe, I'm not sure if he has like a secret sea trident. If like when he was super amped, he like made a water trident or something, but I feel like you could argue that that's more powerful than Mjolnir. Is escaping our sun's gravitational pull an impressive durability feat? Probably not that impressive. Whatever happened to the plotline with Thanos and that new Infinity Gauntlet? From the comics? I had no idea there was going to be a new Infinity Gauntlet. You probably know more about that than me, man. I am right-handed. Would Deadpool pass the vibe check? Fuck no. There was an issue of Batman, Superman. It might have been Superman, Batman. But either way, there was an issue where an Elseworlds version of Deathstroke showed up. And he was very clearly just supposed to be Deadpool. And he just annoyed everybody the whole issue. So no, he would definitely not pass. He would definitely not pass the vibe check. Bro, I need Sparking Zero now, bro. His trident damaged New 52 Darkseid, which is an incredibly weakened version of the character. He's like a fragment of himself otherwise. Who's scarier, Batman or Daredevil? Definitely Batman. Definitely Batman. I need Sparking Zero, bro. I need that shit to come out. We are on the precipice of a new definitive Dragon Ball Z game. Some would argue it's Budokai 3. Some would say it's Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Some would say it's Xenoverse 2, Fighter Z. Now we're gonna have a new contender. I can just feel it. My favorite jobber in fiction. Who do I like seeing get his ass kicked? Jason Todd. Biggest jobber. Marvel heroes are definitely more willing to kill. Thor is obviously willing to kill. Iron Man, Captain America. Strongest version of Godzilla? I'm not sure. Probably the DC version. Probably the one from the crossover. If you think that Twitter statement is valid. How can you tell when a character is relative or comparable? If they're both going all out and they perform at a near equal level, either when they're fighting themselves, like each other, or when they're fighting the same opponent. Fighting game characters is hard. You have to see, like, you know, what do they do canonically? Obviously, in terms of gameplay, they can all fight and hurt each other, but there are definitely, like, fucking, what's his name? Like, Honda is not doing shit to Akuma, even though they can fight and hurt each other in gameplay. In the lore, Akuma would just one-shot him if, like, they were both going all out. Danko is still plagiarizing. That's like saying no one is currently doing illegal shit because otherwise they'd be in jail. Like, people would just get away with shit that they shouldn't be able to get away with. Which characters would you choose to make a Dark Justice League, like the Dark Avengers? They kind of tried that with Amanda Waller. That, like, the Absolute Power story we are watching now, or reading now, had a lot of false starts and, like, different permutations. And you could tell that one of the paths they were going to take was, like, a Dark Avengers thing, because she built her own Justice League through, like, Match was, like, an evil Superboy clone, and that was, like, the Superman of her team, and she went to Earth 3 and got some Crime Syndicate members to be members of her Justice League. So they kind of tried that. They kind of did do that. Tobey Maguire symbiote suit Marvel Legends figure is rumored to be happening soon. That'd be pretty sick. I already got my trio of figures. I have Tom in the integrated suit, Toby from No Way Home, and Andrew from No Way Home. I also have Doc Ock from No Way Home. I have that figure. I've got a fucking Green Goblin Funko and a Toby mini Funko. And that's my, I do want a fucking Goblin Bomb, to be honest. Like the new Goblin Mask and Grenade they're selling. That shit actually does look pretty sick. Is there a Bat family in Earth 3? The current Earth 3 does not seem to be the case. It seems like the new Owlman, the like latest Owlman after Death Metal, is early on, you know, relative to like Batman's career as an example. But prior, the last, like the New 52 Crime Syndicate, you know, Earth 3, whatever, there was a Dick Grayson Robin, but the Jester, like, or whatever, the Jokester, I forget which name he had, but the Earth 3 version of Joker killed him. And that seems to be the end of the whatever Owl family in DC. But yeah. As far as I'm aware, there's not like another universe version of Tim Drake or Jason Todd. Not really. Yeah, I think you picked a good couple choices. Azrael would be cool. Yeah, Lex could be Superman again. Like, to be honest, I think currently he is still a good guy. So yeah, I don't know though. I mean, Artemis maybe. The redheaded Amazonian or whatever. I think she's from a different clan, but you know what I mean. From Red Hood and the Outlaws. She could be cool. Maybe if like Guy Gardner was still a Red Lantern, that could be cool. Have him on there. Typically the New 52 League are a lot weaker than post-crisis. Their post-crisis versions. If you argue that the New Gods weren't retconned by the New 52, which I think most people would agree they weren't. But it is debatable because the characterizations and like character designs are different. But Darkseid, for instance, I'm pretty sure he does just remember pre-Flashpoint. But yeah, if you say that, then I think New 52 Superman, he fights Orion. Orion fought post-crisis Superman, so you could say like, okay, New 52 Superman, maybe when he's going all out, approaches a measure of post-crisis Superman. But otherwise, they're just a lot more tame versions. I think it is commonplace that the next villain is stronger. They up the stakes. I think that is commonplace. A common trope. If it's taken too literally, it would just depend on the context. It would just depend on what character's being talked about. What villain are they trying to say is more powerful? Yeah, I agree. Um, it seems like Kyle will become a White Lantern again, which is exciting. I think he definitely should have. He definitely should not be a Green Lantern. I think he's evolved. He's evolved past that. Um, I think that just makes the most sense. He's definitely not, because Kyle was special when he was the only Green Lantern. And then he was special because he was Ion, right? He's super unique among the Corps. He's like he's the embodiment of willpower. He's the embodiment of everything the Corps represents, literally, and has a much higher power level to reflect that. And you know, you could say the same about the White Lantern. He's just a super heroic, super powerful symbol that he has conquered all of his emotions and all of the emotions in the universe. So, them regressing him back to a Green Lantern, it just makes him less interesting. Because, like you said, keep talking. There's just too many. There needs to be an element of individuality. You know, have Hal be the greatest. Right now, John Stewart he's kind of fulfilling like the Ion placement. He's not literally Ion, but he does have like source energy or something. He like got the power of the source. Which lantern rings are the strongest? I don't think there's an inherently stronger color. It's just dependent on the user. You know, you could have a stronger blue lantern than a red lantern if the blue lantern believes in hope more than the red lantern harnesses their rage. I don't think there's a definitive color that's stronger as far as lantern rings go and cores go. If you are not counting white, maybe black lanterns you could say are stronger. They're just very versatile and like hard to put down because of their regeneration. The peak of each core member. That could be a video. The peak, though. I mean, obviously you have green at the peak. I would say yellow, then they're just the two more relevant rings, and then probably red. Star Sapphire versus Atrocitus. I would imagine Atrocitus would win. Orange is pretty... Yeah, I mean, orange wins by default because there's only one guy. Insofar as, like, obviously Larfleeze is the strongest Orange Lantern. But I think... Yeah. He's kind of an exception. He might be up there though. I'm doing good, Klebold. Just chilling. Currently I'm wearing my edits hat. So I'm embracing my edit self. And so between that, I've taken a bit of a break from editing, and so I figured I would stream for you guys. CJ, $2. Thank you. Dr. Doom versus Dr. Fate. So, I'm looking to learn more about Dr. Doom. I'm going to start doing some research, hopefully, over the weekend. I'll have a document here soon that give me some of his feats. But I think Doom is just so resourceful. You know, Dr. Fate is a master magician. But so is Doom, and Doom also knows martial arts, technologies, a master engineer. I would probably go with Doom. Just per that alone. I probably would. Doom can just bust the Avengers, but I don't really see Dr. Fate doing the same with the Justice League, if that makes sense. I don't think if Dr. Fate pulled up that Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, I don't think they'd all get stomped by Fate. I am trying to get a Dr. Doom video out before he gets added to Fortnite. Or like have it out on that day, because a lot of people will be talking about Doom. Thank you, Klebold, $5. Thank you, man. If I were a lantern, what color? I mean, it's tough. I think if I'm being honest with myself, I had a really bad anger problem growing up. I still get really mad at shit. I've obviously just chilled out the older I've gotten. So I want to say red. You kind of have to have a lot of hope just to get through life, really. Unless you just are delusional. At least you just delude yourself. I mean, like, I get mad playing games, right? Or like if technology's fucking up, if software is being a bastard. And I work from my computer, right? So that happens a lot. Technology is not our friend. So maybe red. Probably red. Yellow because of my OCD. See, I think yellow is weird because it doesn't attach itself to people who are afraid. I think the Earth 3 Green Lantern does that, like the power ring. that attaches to fearful people. But the yellow ring is people who can inspire great fear. I don't think it's necessarily like the most fearful people get a yellow ring. I do not know this person you're describing, Gabe. I'm unfamiliar. Yeah, that's as far as I know. Like, Batman gets the Yellow Lantern ring, and I'm pretty sure it says to him when it picks him, it's like, you know, Bruce Wayne of Earth, you can inspire great fear or something. Like, that's the qualifier. Have you seen Doom's Castle in Fortnite? Bruh, turn Dormammu into an anvil. I did not see Dormammu in there, but I've seen the other people he's shat on. Yeah, I think a Doom video would do well. His stocks are higher than ever. We know we're getting him in a movie. We know he's in Fortnite. He's gonna be unlocked soon, and he is being portrayed as very fucking powerful. So I think people would be interested in seeing that explored. Right now, I'm putting the finishing touches on. I'm putting the finishing touches on a video I'm working on for a client that is going to have a big payout. And then it'll probably be a Dr. Doom video. Do you take recommendations for versus battles? If you pay me like a couple $100, depending on the severity of a research I'd have to do, I'll just make the video. You know what I mean? But as far as just recommendations, like, if the idea is good enough, then I might do it. But I'm not just going to be like, all right, you commented that, now I'm 100% going to do the video. I'm starting research now. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? But if you donate a certain amount, I will just simply produce the video. I know Scarecrow's been a Yellow Lantern before. Yep. Yeah, I agree. It should have been an event. That's a good point. How did you become Crisis Edits, Crisis Comics? What made you get into each hobby, and what makes you want to pursue it as a gig? Well, I have always wanted to make videos. I've always, I guess, been creative in that way. I was always recording stuff, and I was always looking into like different software, like Windows Movie Maker. I just gravitated towards that. Movavi, if anyone's heard of that. My dad had like a subscription to Movavi for a bit, and I was like, whoa. I would film like family trips as a kid. I would like, you know, film my toys, and those would be little homemade movies. And I mean, just growing up in this generation, YouTube's the thing, right? Like, it's really not so much cartoons or you know, stuff like that. Although I enjoyed plenty of those as a kid, but YouTube just made it feel more tangible. You know, I'd grow up and see like Lego movies on YouTube, far before actual Lego movies or the actual Lego movie. And I was like, oh, okay, I can do that. I definitely made parodies like that. I definitely made AMVs as well. Yep. Comics have always been my favorite art form. I've always gravitated towards them. I think per the fact that like comic book games and movies were always my favorite, and superhero stuff, it all traces back to comics. But I mean, there's plenty of YouTubers that I saw where I was like, okay, this is feasible. Set the Programmer, obviously. Chuck, obviously. Key Issues, obviously. Seeing all those guys and being fans of them, and then getting to know them, definitely made it that much more attainable for me to be like, okay, I can do this as a full-time career. But yeah, I think editing, it was just natural. Just I was only good at it was all I ever wanted to do was make videos. I never wanted to study anything else. I never wanted to bother with like sports or anything really. It was always just figuring out how to do some of the things that I had seen on YouTube, really. Hope that answers your question. Mobius, $10. Sinestro's parents really set him up for failure. His parents, when he turned on his planet, oh no, our son is evil. Yeah. No shit. Yeah, Sinestro, they really weren't hiding it. And I don't know how anyone trusted him from day one. Sinestro? Evil McEvilstein? You know. It's just no good. Get that guy away from me. I mean, you also have like Atrocitus, right? I wonder if his parents knew. Presumably they were also like weird demon aliens. So they were probably like, yeah, no, this is just what we do. Atrocitus. But yeah, Sinestro really only had one possible career path. I appreciate the $10. Sinestro. The best comic artist right now is probably Dan Mora. There's a lot of good ones I like. George Perez, obviously. Redondo, the current Nightwing artist, obviously. Jim Lee, no duh. Mark Bagley. Occasionally, I don't think his style works for everything, but it is endearing. I do like it. Gary Frank. I'm not super good with names. It's hard for me to remember. Yeah, Gary Frank is a goat. There's a lot of great ones. Vader does drop some bars here and again. He really cooked with that. He cooked and ate with all I am surrounded by is fear and dead men. I haven't scaled my adventures with Superman, so I have no idea. I don't even know. I haven't even seen Brainiac in that show. I've seen some episodes, but I don't really like the Superman he's too soft. You know, obviously Superman needs to have a soft side. He can be soft with Lois. He can be soft with, you know, if he's saving people. But DCAU Superman was just a goat. You know, he's like in Justice League when Darkseid pulls up. He's like, I'm gonna fucking beat you into a stain on my fist. And then he backs it up, like shit like that. Obviously, World Made of Cardboard, moments like that as well. The Mongol shit. Burn, that shit. Like, I want to see Superman moments like that. I'm just not really interested in soft boy Superman. Like, that motherfucker's like ooh woo and shit. Like, nah. If he, you know, if they get to the point in that show where he nuts up and starts doing, you know, raw, cool shit like that, then maybe I'll be on board. Yeah, lock in, bruh. I also like, as far as young Superman stories go, I like Superman Earth 1 a lot. And that one is definitely like, you know, it's kind of edge, not gonna lie. I kind of do like Superman with some edge. Especially with like alternate universes. I think that's also why Absolute Superman looks interesting to me. Is it's like, he's got the fucking ashes of his planet. That's his cape. And I'm like, alright. Kind of cool, not gonna lie. I think there's room for, you know, different shades of any character. The problem with the DCEU, though, is there is only going to be one movie version at a time. It's not like the comics. So when you adapt a movie version of Superman, it kind of has to be definitive, especially when clearly the DCEU was set up to compete with the MCU and, you know, go in perpetuity. You know, it's a Superman, same actor, Superman for 10 years, all these different appearances. It's clearly the idea. That's what we're buying when we're pitched Man of Steel, Justice League, etc. And I do like New 52 Superman. I like specifically Morrison's Action Comics. I think that's a good little reinvention of the golden age, like social justice kind of Superman. Where, you know, he fucking busts a door down and is like, stop beating your wife. Shit like that, you know? As opposed to grabbing tears in space-time and searing them shut so reality doesn't get funneled through a platonic black hole. And I like that shit too, obviously. I'm a power scaler. It's shit's cool, but I like young Superman that has an edge. If he's 35 years old and snapping necks, you know, reel it in a bit. Like fucking Man of Steel. Thoughts on Outerversal Star Wars? If you donate, depending on the amount you donate, I can give a really direct answer. I can give a vague answer. I can give just a point blank. I think it's whatever. Like, but power scaling questions. Donate. Like, if you give me $20, I'll give you the fucking top to bottom analysis. I'll judge it from every angle. Yeah, Birthright is good. There's a lot of good Superman origin stories. you know, the breakdown of the early days, the explorations of that. There's a lot of good ones. My Adventures with Superman was made to invoke shoujo anime. I don't know. Maybe you meant shonen. I don't know what shoujo is, but the animators were told to make Clark as attractive as possible. Yeah, it definitely is like anime inspired, but it's like, I don't know, bro. I want some Dragon Ball Z shit. I want Superman, like, whenever in the DCAU there was like blood, I was like, oh shit. Like as a kid, like the finale of Superman the Animated Series, when he's fighting Darkseid on Apokolips, and they're like beating the fuck out of each other. Their shit's tattered, they're bleeding. I'm like, all right, that's peak. That's anime. Shoujo is magical girl stuff. See, like, bro, I don't want to watch a magical girl Superman. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in that shit. Not for me. Because there's like, you know, there's a spectrum of anime fans. And it depends on the series, right? Like, even I keep like wanting to knee-jerk be like, oh, like My Hero, right? My Hero fans, that show seems soft, not gonna lie. But it still has peak shit. It still has like cool, exciting moments, right? Like All Might, Deku fucking unlocking his powers. Like that show can lock in. But it's still like kind of soft. It still has like that soft, like Tumblr fucking whatever, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It just doesn't seem like there's a lot of locking in going on in the Superman show. Reddit Chungus energy? Yeah, exactly. I can't do it with that kind of shit, bruh. Like, I cannot watch Reddit Chungus Superman. I'm sorry. We're quirky. I can't. Some shit that is peak, though, is Smallville. Smallville is peak. Which that show is just pure fucking melodrama, right? But it's still fucking good. I'm sorry. I still like it. That show is just cozy. Like, unironically, it's like, go back to the 2000s. Go back before all this bullshit. You know, you get Clark fucking beating the fuck out of people, throw a dude out a window, a new mutant will fucking backhand somebody into, like, a fucking building or something. You know, you still get your weird melodrama. Jonathan Kent being, oh, is my wife gonna leave me for Lex Luthor's dad? You know, you still get that shit. You still get Clark being like, oh, will they, won't they with Lana Lang. You get the melodrama, but I don't know. It just isn't simpler times. I just like that shit more. Yeah, like, I don't know. If Superman was treated like All Might, maybe, in the new show, it would be more engaging. Because, like, I watched a good chunk of Season 1. Season 1 of My Adventure. And I'm just like, it just did not do it for me, man. It just did not. Yeah. Smallville, they use heat vision as symbolism. yeah. That episode's fucking peak, bro. I'm sorry. That shit's funny as fuck. It's just a different time, bro. You can just escape. Like, media was just pure escapism, bro. Post 9/11, people just want to watch a show, bro. They just want to watch a show. Freak of the week. You got character arcs. Lex Luthor has like a 7-season character arc. before he's like solidified as Clark's immortal rival, like you just couldn't do that show anymore. You could not. You could not. And maybe it's for the best, because I think there are too many episodes a season, and a lot of like plot threads are kind of just, you know, they're dragging. They just drag that shit out a little bit. But whatever. It's fine. I like it. But yeah. There's just no like there's just no raw fucking moments in the new show from what I've seen. Like in all of season 1, there's no like there's nothing close to the fucking World of Cardboard. You know? And to be fair, they pretty much built up the entire DCAU to get to that point, but still. I mentioned other moments as well. Also, bro, the fucking voice actor, the Huey from The Boys who plays that Superman, is like, meh, maybe in a few seasons he could beat Homelander. Like, where's your testosterone, buddy? Fuck Homelander. Are you really going to you're going to play Superman, and you're going to be like, nah, you know, I think Homelander's a little... Homelander is like the fucking joke of the power scaling community, bruh. Like, everybody fucking hates Homelander in that respect. They're like, nah, jump his ass, bruh. Anybody could fucking run his fed. Phase 1 Iron Man would fucking drop kick Homelander's head off. And meanwhile, this dude fucking whatever. He's like, nah. Give him a little more time. I agree with him, though, bro. Like, maybe whenever that motherfucker's like, all right, now he's to the point where he could fuck up Homelander, maybe that's when I'll start watching. But until then, get the fuck out of my face with that shit. Yeah, like everybody, bro. Homelander is whatever. What's the opposite of peak? Like there's the peak of something. There's like the base of an object, right? Like, oh, the peak of the hill. We got to climb the base of this mountain. We got to get up the base and then we'll be by the peak. Like what's the fucking like the cavernous like understudy or whatever, like the caves under the mountain system. Like that's where Homelander's at. The opposite of peak fiction. He gets soloed by every verse. Just mega ass. Meanwhile, I guess this version of Superman that's the one character in fiction that Homelander is just definitively beating the fuck out of. According to his fucking bitch-ass voice actor. But to be fair, I mean, I guess after that shit they did to Huey, that actor's probably like... He's just legitimately just emasculated. Shit is sad. Yeah, Homelander is just a big baby. He definitely does baby rage. He couldn't catch fucking Huey, bro. Huey scurried away from him. Are you telling me that, like, Huey scurries away from Homelander? Huey by that would just blitz. Would just blitz that version of Superman. My Adventures with Superman. He would just blitz him. He'd be imperceptible to him. He'd be like that shit Batman does in BVS where he throws the grenade. Superman fucking dashes through the grenade and Batman's just inexplicably fucking behind him. Was Homelander hurt by a pencil? That shit better have been wielded by Doodle Bob. That better have been Doodle Bob's pencil. The GOAT Doodle Bob. Peak Fiction. Solo's your verse. He moin hoiman hoy hoiman. A metal straw. I do not fucking remember that. All I know about AI is it can make pictures of xenomorphs attacking elderly people. That's all I That's all I know. Oh, Queen Maeve did it. Okay. Gotcha. That's not quite Doodle Bob, but maybe it's passable. Maybe it's permissible. If he survived an encounter with Doodle Bob, I'd be hype. Queen Maeve broke her arm stopping a bus. The boys, yeah, they might just suck. The 7 might just suck ass, bruh. They might just all be fucking complete bums. Like, is Homelander fucking wall level, dog? I don't know. I'm pretty sure a bus... If a bus, like, smashed into a concrete wall, it wouldn't fucking... It's not vaporizing the wall. Like, it's not technically wall level just per that, right? Like, a wall might stop a bus. I don't know, though. Storm generating feats. Did, fucking, what's her name? Stormlight, the fuck? Stormfront? Did she make a storm? I mean, the best statement I've seen for her is that she can, like, TK 747s, which I'm pretty sure the, like, kinetic energy of that is, like, not bad, but whatever. They all suck. They're all dog shit. I don't care, bruh. Rocky Balboa? Dog. If I made Rocky Balboa versus Homelander, like why he beats the fuck out of Homelander, I might have to do it, bro. I might have to be like, listen, dog. The boys are ass. The boys are just dog shit. Like, what the fuck do they do, bro? The Deep falls unconscious from, like, a 12-foot fall off a whale. He's, like, knocked the fuck out. He sucks. Fuck the nuke statement, man. I've never seen it. It's just a statement. Feats over statements. Where's the feat? When did it ever happen? When did they nuke Homelander? They take him out of his, like, cage to nuke him? They got, like, him as a little baby. They drug him out into the Nevada desert and dropped a nuke on him? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? Right on his fucking head? Nah. They didn't nuke that bitch. We tried everything. Whatever. What the fuck ever. The Incredible Family are like fucking star level or some shit. Like, there's a motherfucker that can make black holes, and he got fondled by those robots. got fondled. Somebody donate, damn it. This has been a good. This has been a good little stream of consciousness, I believe. Am I good at Smash Bros? No. I have a healthy BMI, so I'm not good at Smash Bros. Yeah. If you can like make a black hole, like what's black hole? Black hole BSPW. Black hole feats and fictions in fiction. Black hole. Black hole creation. Oh, it's just gravity manipulation. Oh, really? Attack potency through creating a black hole. Let's see. The lowest they have here is small planet. Attack potency for creating. How do black holes rank the answers in their mass? Stellar black holes have masses ranging from about 5 to several tens of solar masses. Can be assumed to be at least star level, if not large star level. But some characters also have the ability to create very small black holes, and some black holes in fiction may even be extremely large. How do we rank them? The good thing is that there is an easy formula that lets us approximate the mass of black holes based on the radius of the event horizon. So if we just know the size, we can set values. So yeah, I mean, probably small planet. At least. $2 from Pamajam. Thank you. Ben 10 versus Hal Jordan. It greatly depends on the version of Ben. What aliens does he have? I'm not gonna lie, Hal is probably just faster and stronger than like 99% of Ben's aliens. Ben would have to get extremely lucky to avoid that. He'd have to just, no bullshit Alien X out the gate. Even then, somebody on like Seth's chat, or in both of our chats, they joined Seth's chat, donated to get up in there. They kind of debunked the Alien X shit, so or the Alien X being like 26 dimensional. My thing has always been like, if you connect Ben 10 to DC, if you say it's in the same cosmology, which it probably is, right? Like a lot of Cartoon Network shit is just acknowledged by DC. Then it would be really, really hard to avoid shit just upscaling from Ben 10. Like Ben 10 would just be a random minor universe, like kind of irrelevant to the grand scheme of things universe in the DC multiverse. And once you start playing around with that, you have like base Hal Jordan, like currently scaling to parallax Hal Jordan from 0 hour. Not peak parallax, but regardless, like a crisis level threat from post-crisis, and base Hal Jordan scales to that currently. Compared to like a random high tier in a random DC multiverse universe. Like there are Ben 10 comics that just have the DC label. And even if they're not canon to the main Ben 10 timeline, timelines like that are still acknowledged in the multiverse. Like, Paradox acknowledges the fucking DS game for Ben 10, the Vilgax Attacks DS version specifically. He acknowledges that shit in the main timeline. So, if that's how you look at it, if you're like, okay, Ben 10 is just a random universe in the DC multiverse, Hal Jordan is one of the greatest heroes in the DC multiverse proper. He's one of the most powerful, most accomplished, most acclaimed, and he's dealt with reality warpers at a scale beyond Alien X. Thank you, Kimimaru, for the $5. The most powerful Green Lantern without their ring. So... interesting question. I haven't seen Jon Stewart fight without the ring before, but he is a Marine. Kyle is a fucking artist, although Kyle was trained by Batman. And he used some of those skills against Sinestro in a very brief hand-to-hand fight. So there's that. Hal can have like extended fights against Green Arrow. Green Arrow is like not really that far off from Batman in terms of skill. He's definitely within that same tier. It's not just a reference though, Daniel. There's Ben 10 content that just has the DC label. It's not just a reference. It's not just like, oh, look at that Tetraman in the background of the Green Lantern Corps. That's not what I'm arguing. Plus, Reboot Ben just fucking met Raven from Teen Titans Go. And fucking Garnet, who's in Multiverses. With fucking Batman, Superman, Joker. Every, like, game and shit is in the DC Multiverse. The same one as the comics. And Reboot Ben has like multiple Alien X's and shit. And like all those like they're essentially different main Bens, right? Like they're slightly different, but that's clearly what's going on here. Like the fucking Alien Force Ben that appears in the Reboot crossover. That's pretty much just Alien Force Ben. Maybe not literally, but come on. Probably scales the same. Has all the same aliens. We're chilling. So no. Ben 10 being connected to DC is not a fucking little reference like, oh, look at this JJK character in a Nightwing comic. Guy did fight that big alien guy. Do you mean Atrocitus? Reboot Ben might unironically be classic timeline Ben then. It's possible. I don't fucking know. I know that one of the Man of Action guys, he pretty much seems to say that like the reboot timeline, it's not that it's not that different. There's not like a lot of fundamental differences between the nature of the reboot timeline and the original timeline. Like he's like, yes, aliens that show up in the new show exist in the original timeline. And I'm pretty sure he said that about power levels as well. He's like, yes, this alien is just as strong as its counterpart from the original timeline. I'm pretty sure he's gone as far to say that. Yeah. Do all the feats and abilities of the original universe's aliens also apply to the reboot and vice versa? Duncan Rouleau on Twitter says, for the most part, yes, except for a few exceptions. So for the most part, Reboot Ben is just as powerful as Main Ben. All of his aliens are just as powerful. And Main Ben met fucking Teen Titans Go Raven. They just actually met. They just actually crossed over. In that same crossover, they also acknowledge like Generator X and shit. So Generator X is also like, he's obviously in the same multiverse as like Ultimate Alien Ben, like main timeline Ben. And in those same comics that have like the DC logo on them, there's a sequel to that crossover. So there is a timeline, even if you want to say that comic is not canon to the show, it's a Ben 10 timeline where presumably all of the same lore preceding the crossover and the crossover happened, the Generator X Ben 10 crossover, original series, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, Generator X, all that same shit happened. And that's in a DC universe. So yeah. I think that's just facts. Ben 10 being connected to DC is kind of factual. It is kind of factual that it's in the same multiverse. It's kind of irrefutable. Final Fantasy, from what I understand, is a very powerful universe. I would not be surprised if a lot of them are just outright outerversal. Oh yeah, I remember the Infinite Ape. He's still out there somewhere, man. Someone needs to bring back Infinite Ape. I thought Human Torch could have done at least... He could have blown up one of their cars or something. And then get shit on. It's fine. But he could have done something. He didn't do shit. That was a little disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit grody. Is anybody playing that Wukong game? Should I pick that up? I haven't really played a Souls game before. Would I enjoy Wukong? Is it just gonna fucking kick my ass? What's the consensus? Yeah, Stargazer. How do you feel about the Naruto TMNT crossover comic? I think it makes sense at some level, right? It's like probably the two... It's the East's most famous ninja and the West's most famous ninjas. Samurai Jack is canon to DC. It is certainly in the multiverse, yeah. Samurai Jack's in multiverses, right? He got added. Yo, Sunday Page, bro. Relax. Don't think that fucking membership protects you from everything, bro. Don't think that makes you invincible, man. Crossovers means the franchise is in the verse now. Yeah, they're close because of CN buddying everyone, but the evidence being provided is nothing to be taken seriously, honestly. I don't know what could be more substantial, like substantive, than literally the characters just meeting. There is no better way to prove the point that they are literally connected. Warner Brothers owns Cartoon Network and Warner Brothers owns DC, and they cross over all the time. They are 100% in the same multiverse. There is a canon timeline in DC with Ben 10, Generator X, Samurai Jack, all that bullshit. Is it the main Ben 10 universe? Maybe not. But there is plenty of outright evidence, substantive evidence, that Ben 10 universes with pretty much all of the same scaling and lore and everything and power levels that exist in the very main timeline are in the DC multiverse. Naruto probably is in the DC multiverse now because of that, yeah. I mean, okay, so to be fair with the TMNT one, the Ninja Turtles that crossed over with Batman are not the same turtles that are crossing over with Naruto, no. They're not the same. Would you ever consider power scaling the lawyers in Suits? Is that a verse? Or do you mean just real lawyers? Because the Ninja Turtles that crossed over with Batman, they explicitly said those are non-canon turtles. The editor of the Turtle book said, yeah, that's not the main comic Turtles. It's not IDW Turtles. Absolute Flash is interesting. The like other Absolute characters aren't getting as much hype as the Trinity. But that does look interesting because it's Wally. It's like it's a Wally origin without Barry. I think that's cool. Do you think the new Ultimate Spider-Man could surpass the old one? I'm not gonna lie, bro. I saw a tweet that was like, yeah, people are only posting like wholesome screenshots from the new comic of like, oh, look at Peter with his family. Yep, so it's so wholesome. He's got a wife and everything. Because that's all that happens in that comic. And I kind of fucking agree. It's kind of fucking boring. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of fucking boring. It's a lot of people just sitting around talking. But if it picks up pace, I mean, I picked up an issue of Wolverine's Revenge by Hickman, the same writer, and that's a #1, and it immediately starts with some action and immediately picks up with intrigue. So Hickman's definitely capable of it, of being like, all right, new universe, we're not fucking around. Shit is popping off from minute 1. So yeah, I think he could get there. Ultimate Spider-Man is really good though. Yeah, the symbiote is like they're kind of getting ahead of themselves. I fear with that. Like, there's not even a volume collection yet. There's not even a volume 1 of collected issues for the series yet, and we're already getting like shit that they didn't create until like the mid 80s in 616. You know, even like in 1610, when did the symbiote first show up? Let me check. What issue? The symbiote first appeared 33 issues in. So there were 33 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, the initial story, the first story. There were 33 issues of that before we got to the symbiote. And we're like 8 issues in to the new Ultimate Spider-Man. And that shit's already talking to him. Getting in his head. Like, come on, bruh. Hold your horses, Hickman. Yeah, it's definitely it's the suit. I mean, Anthony Stark fucked up if he gave him a damn alien. Like, why are you complicating my life unnecessarily? Like, I agree to the superpowers. That's cool. Sure, that's gonna create some disruptions in my marriage and fatherhood. I get it, but I did not sign up for a fucking weird alien to possess me. Can you not? You know? I don't think Wally will job. Wally will be alright. Would you ever make it a Superman Injustice versus vid? Never say never. Never say never. In fact, that gives me an idea. That gives me an idea. What do you think of the absolute Batman logo? People are clowning the logo. I don't give a fuck. Like, if the story's good, if the costume has like a purpose, then it's chill. I mean, I don't like the Dark Knight Returns logo. I think if you're gonna criticize this new logo, you need to criticize that shit as well. Like the Batman versus Superman logo. I do not like a fat bat symbol. I don't. I really do not. So I don't like it, I guess I would say, but at the same time, it's a new universe. It's yet to be seen if the suit has a new logic. You know, that it's just not the same logic. We can't really judge it by the same standard as the typical bat suit. So we'll just have to see. But the logo out of context, I would not like it, I guess. Keep talking $2. Dark Avengers versus Doom Syndicate. I assume by Doom Syndicate you mean like the crime syndicate, or like what? Like the do you mean Lex's like group of villains? What do you mean by Doom Syndicate? Clarify what you mean by the Doom Syndicate. Do you mean like Ultraman, Owlman and them, or Lex, Joker, Sinestro? Those guys. I mixed up Crime Syndicate and Doom Patrol. Okay. Let me look at the Dark Avengers. The Dark Avengers lineup. Okay. So we've got Norman Osborn, Iron Patriot, Ares, Daken, Wolverine, Bullseye, Hawkeye, Matt Gargan, Black Suit Spider-Man, that fucking weird random girl as Captain Marvel, Sentry, and Marvel Boy. This was a cool lineup. I have my hardcover of Dark Avengers Volume 1 from when it came out. I've just always held on to it. It's a very cool concept. So depending on the version of Owlman, right? Or the version of the Crime Syndicate, it would change drastically because, like I kind of said earlier, the latest Crime Syndicate are kind of fodder. Like that Owlman, the latest Owlman, gets his back broken by William Cobb Talon, who's like he's the second most elite Talon. And Batman obviously is like surpassed the Talons by now very severely. But if we're talking post-crisis Crime Syndicate, they seem to just be equal to the Justice League. If you read the latter Justice League issues right before the New 52, there was an arc where you had Supergirl on the team, Donna Troy, Dick Grayson, Batman, and a few newcomers. I think Jade was on the team. as like the Green Lantern stand-in. Jesse Quick was the speedster. So like the next generation had taken over. The writer was like, yeah, I'm using the Crime Syndicate to show that this new league is just as good as the old one. They're just as capable. Because, you know, the Crime Syndicate are supposed to be the equal counterparts of the league. So Wonder Woman is beating the fuck out of Ares. Ares, as far as I know, he's not even that relative to Thor. Wonder Woman's also beating the fuck out of this random Captain Marvel bitch. She's so irrelevant. I only recognize her from Dark Avengers. I don't even know who the fuck this is. Let me look into this. Dark Avengers. Dark Avengers. Dark Avengers. Dark Avengers. Failed to recruit Miss Marvel. Moonstone. Yeah, bruh. Who gives a fuck about Moonstone, bruh? Moonstone's getting fucked up. Like Superwoman. Superwoman, if she's equal to Wonder Woman, is fucking up Ares, is fucking up Moonstone. Daken, listen, dog. Like, the only threats here, really, is Century. Moonstone's fodder, Ares, whatever, like Superman or Ultraman, I keep forgetting it's not the Justice League versus the Dark Avengers. Ultraman is shitting on Ares. Ultraman is shitting on Moonstone. Same with Superwoman. You know, post-crisis Owlman should be able to deal with like a symbiote with Matt Gargan. Should be more skilled than Bullseye. Yeah, they clear. The Crime Syndicate clears. I think Dawkins kind of bummish. I don't think he's like a Wolverine. I don't think he's relative. I'm pretty sure Daken has fought Logan and has just gotten fucked up. His healing factor has sometimes been hampered by underlying guilt and other self-impeding psychological blocks, thus weakening his ability to regenerate damage. So yeah, he's just kind of like... he's just shittier Wolverine. In theory, there is no Earth 3 Darkseid. At least as of the New 52, because they really kind of say there's only one Darkseid. I don't think there's an Avatar on Earth 3. Another little dono. Thank you from Keep Talking. The Justice League Dark versus Midnight Suns. Let's take a look at the Midnight Suns. William Cobb had been recruited by Amanda Waller. So, using the comic team of Midnight Suns. Let's see here. Midnight Suns comic. Because the game is pretty much just a fucking Avengers lineup. So who gives a shit about that? So Justice League Dark. I mean, Zatanna is shitting on Magic. Zatanna is shitting on this fucking Ghost Rider ripoff character. And then you just, like, I feel like Wonder Woman just solos the rest. Like, Wonder Woman just shits on Wolverine and Blade. And whoever these other fucking randos are. Like, Wonder Woman and Zatanna is a crazy... That's just 2 members. That's not even talking about Swamp Thing is super powerful. Deadman's got good hacks, good body control. Constantine's a cracked fucking magician. Yeah, the Midnight Suns get fucking shafted really bad. They get totally shit on. Alright. I'm going to give it 8 more minutes and then we'll have stream for 2 hours. Unless somebody comes with an insane dono. And then I'll go on for longer. You don't like Dawkins' third bone, bro? His fucking blood vessel bone? Not a big fan. I don't fuck with that either, man. Not gonna lie. Kind of weird. Would Daken have been a cool inclusion into Logan? Would Daken be like a cooler entry than X-24? I feel like that might have been like disrespectful. Because then obviously he just gets his head blown off. I always thought that a cool like thing that they could have done with X-24 is Wolverine, right? In Origins, he gets shot in the head by an adamantium bullet and heals from it. And he loses his memories. If they wanted to just have more Hugh Jackman and not go the multiverse route, they could have honestly just said X-24 just healed from that shit. And then now you have another Hugh Jackman Wolverine, except he's got like no memories at all. Like there's nothing. Dr. Doom versus Dr. Manhattan. Thank you. I mean, Dr. Manhattan just could shit on the entire DC universe. Dr. Manhattan is absurdly powerful. Yeah, like can reset the universe, reset the metaverse, can destroy Superman. You know, with a flick of his hand, whatever, he just can wipe out the entire like collected DC universe, all the heroes, the Teen Titans, the Titans, the Justice League, the Justice Society, the Doom Patrol. Dr. Doom would definitely need like Beyonder power to be even, you know, near comparable, one way or the other. Base Dr. Doom is definitely not at that tier of power. He'd have to prep something up. He'd have to whip up something. And honestly, you know, that would be some Batman Who Laughs shit if he did that. He'd have to dig deep and pull some shit like that. For sure. Yeah, I thought Daken might be in there as well. X-23 is just a cooler character, though. Let's not fuck around. X-23 is super cool. In Season 5, do you think Homelander should be killed or depowered or sent to prison? I don't know. He's done some irredeemable shit. But I would like if it ended on an aspirational note. But I'm conflicted because, like, I would like to think, okay, Ryan is the world's first legitimate superhero. He uses his powers to help people. He was just born with powers. He wasn't, like, made in a lab. he was raised by like a normal, you know, a single mother, but, you know, just a normal person. He was raised to value humanity. He's everything Homelander isn't and could never be. And then maybe Ryan beats him, and it's like Injustice, right? Like they somehow put Homelander in the equivalent of a Red Sun prison, whatever weakness that might be. Maybe the radiation that Soldier Boy emits, they're able to weaponize that into like a gun or something, or like, you know, lamps. And Homelander is just locked behind a cage. And maybe he can take some pride in knowing that everything that he failed, in every way that he failed, Ryan succeeded, right? Like, we know from the animation that at one point Homelander tried to be heroic, but he just fucked up. He's just a fuck up. Similar to Ryan so far, you know, accidentally kill somebody. But I think that kind of betrays the point of the show. I think, honestly, the show, it would be appropriate to just have a bad ending where Ryan just fucking wipes out humanity or something. And the show is more of like, you know, a warning or something about consolidating power, or, you know, however the show perceives immorality to be. The depiction of it up until now, and for it to be, all right, we've shown you what power unchecked could do, whatever, right? Whatever your interpretation of the message of the show is. And then it just has a bad ending, and you're like, yep, this is what it looks like if whatever, insert theme here. That seems to be more in line with the show up until now. I think a good ending is kind of out of the question, to be for real. Alrighty. We're about out of time here. I'll give it a little bit longer in case somebody wants to dono to drag this out. But yeah, if Homelander had to live as a normal person, I mean, he'd probably just become a serial killer and just get put in prison anyway. I think Ryan is Homelander's only path for like any kind of redemption, quote unquote. You know, I don't think you can like outright redeem him, but I think what I offered would be the closest, right? Is he's in prison for everything he does, and he's proud of Ryan in the sense that he can relate to what he used to believe, what he used to aspire to be. And even though currently he's fallen so far from it and probably doesn't even believe in that anymore, he can still go like, okay, you know, let's see how you do. Let's see how long you last out there before you snap, or before, etc. You know, like some Negan comic shit where he's like in prison and Rick like goes to him, you know. I think that's a very cool paradigm. Like it's very cool. And it could also just be Butcher and Homelander just kill each other. I tried to get a super chat, but I can't anymore. Avengers, well, the Justice Society are pretty powerful. The Phoenix though might be too much for them, to be honest. Like the Phoenix and like a young Odin with Mjolnir, that might be a little too much for the Justice Society. But with that, been streaming for a couple hours. Thank you for all the donos. Thank you, Keep Talking. Thank you, Kimo Mario Heroes and Stan. Thank you, Pama Jam. Thank you, Kleebold Kleesold. Thank you, Faber Matthew. Thank you, CJ. Thank you, Board, and most of all, thank you, Mobius. Yep, I'll see y'all